Learn about the first atomic clock, built by Isidor Rabi and his team in 1949, and discover how it paved the way for modern timekeeping. The world's first atomic clock was built in 1949 by Isidor Rabi and his team at Columbia University. This pioneering clock used the vibrations of ammonia molecules to regulate its timekeeping. The atomic clock's accuracy was unprecedented, losing only 1 second over 30,000 years. Rabi's invention led to the redefinition of the second in 1967 based on atomic vibrations. The first atomic clock paved the way for modern timekeeping, including GPS technology and internet synchronization. Today, atomic clocks are used in scientific research, telecommunications, and even space exploration. Delve into the physics and biology behind shaving, exploring how razor blades interact with skin and hair and the secrets to a smooth, comfortable shave. Razor blades cut hair at a 20-degree angle, which is crucial for a smooth shave. The average person has around 5 million hair follicles, with 1/3 of them on the face. Hair grows at a rate of 0.3 to 0.4 millimeters per day, or 1/2 inch per month. The skin's natural moisture barrier is disrupted when shaving, leading to dryness and irritation. Exfoliating before shaving can reduce ingrown hairs by up to 60% by removing dead skin cells. A sharp razor blade can reduce friction by up to 50%, making for a more comfortable shave. Discover how civilians are affected by cyber warfare, as seen in the 2017 NotPetya attack, which crippled Ukraine's infrastructure, and learn about the growing threat of cyber attacks on civilian life. In 2017, the NotPetya cyber attack caused $10 billion in damages, making it the costliest cyber attack in history. The attack crippled Ukraine's infrastructure, including hospitals, banks, and government agencies, affecting millions of civilians. Cyber warfare can disrupt critical infrastructure, such as power grids and water supply systems, putting civilian lives at risk. In 2020, 70% of cyber attacks targeted the private sector, including businesses and organizations that serve civilians. Cyber attacks can also have a significant impact on civilians' personal data, with 60% of attacks. Understand how loss aversion influences our attachment to possessions, as seen in the famous mug experiment by Dan Ariely. The endowment effect is a cognitive bias that makes us overvalue things we own. This bias is driven by loss aversion, the fear of losing something we possess. In the mug experiment, people demanded twice the price for a mug they owned versus one they didn't. This effect occurs because we tend to focus on the potential loss rather than the gain. The endowment effect influences our behavior in many areas, including business, finance, and relationships. By recognizing this bias, we can make more rational decisions and avoid overvaluing our possessions. In cricket, a player can be given out leg before wicket, LBW, if the umpire believes the ball would have hit the stumps. But did you know that this rule relies on the umpire's judgment and not on any clear criteria, leading to some inconsistent and disputed calls over the years? The LBW rule was first introduced in 1774, making it one of cricket's oldest rules. The rule relies on the umpire's judgment, with no clear criteria for making an LBW decision. In 2013, the International Cricket Council introduced the decision review system to reduce LBW controversies. Research shows that umpires make incorrect LBW decisions up to 25% of the time. The LBW rule is so complex that even experienced umpires disagree on its interpretation. Visit the refugee camps in Bangladesh, where over 700,000 Rohingya civilians have sought shelter, and meet people like Amina, who shares her story of survival and hope for a better future. Over 700,000 Rohingya civilians have fled to Bangladesh, seeking refuge from violence and persecution. The Rohingya refugee camps in Bangladesh are now one of the largest refugee settlements in the world. Amina, a Rohingya refugee, shares her story of survival, hope, and resilience in the face of adversity. Rohingya refugees have limited access to basic necessities like food, water, and healthcare in the camps. Despite the challenges, many Rohingya refugees, like Amina, hold on to hope for a better future and a chance to rebuild their lives. From the Apollo missions to the Mars Curiosity rover, discover how aluminum has played a crucial role in space exploration. Aluminum's high strength-to-weight ratio made it an ideal material for spacecraft construction. The Apollo 11 spacecraft's fuselage was made of aluminum, protecting astronauts on their historic moon landing. Aluminum's thermal conductivity helped regulate the temperature of the Mars Curiosity rover's electronics. The International Space Station's solar panels are supported by aluminum frames, generating power for the orbiting outpost. Aluminum's corrosion resistance enabled the Hubble Space Telescope's mirrors to withstand harsh space conditions. Today, aluminum alloys are being developed to build even lighter and more efficient spacecraft for future missions. Discover the story of Ponte del Torri, a medieval bridge in Italy that suddenly collapsed in 1579, killing 200 people, and find out what led to its tragic failure. Ponte delle Torri was a medieval bridge in Spoleto, Italy, built in the 14th century. The bridge was an engineering marvel, spanning 230 meters across the Ticino River. In 1579, the bridge suddenly collapsed, killing around 200 people, mostly pilgrims and merchants. The collapse was likely caused by a combination of structural weaknesses and heavy rainfall. An investigation revealed that the bridge's foundations were poorly constructed and unable to withstand the river's flow. The tragic event led to significant changes in bridge construction and safety standards in Italy. Microsoft's Redfall, a highly anticipated Xbox exclusive, received overwhelmingly negative reviews, with critics calling it a mess and a disaster. Microsoft's Redfall was highly anticipated as an Xbox exclusive, but released to crushing criticism. Critics labeled Redfall a mess and a disaster due to its numerous technical issues. The game suffered from poor performance, including framerate drops and lag. Redfall's storyline and characters were also panned for being unoriginal and poorly written. The game's developer, Arcane Studios, had promised a co-op experience, but it was marred by bugs. Redfall's failure has raised concerns about Microsoft's ability to produce high-quality exclusive games. Relive the rare own goal scored by Lionel Messi during a 2014 match between Barcelona and Getafe, and see how he reacted to the unusual mistake. Lionel Messi scored his first and only own goal in a La Liga match on the 22nd of March 2014. The rare mistake occurred during a 3-0 win for Barcelona against Getafe at the Camp Nou. Messi's own goal came in the 23rd minute, deflecting a cross into his own net. Despite the error, Messi still managed to provide 2 assists in the same match. The Argentine superstar took full responsibility for the mistake, showing his humility and sportsmanship. The own goal remains one of the few blemishes on Messi's otherwise illustrious career.